Imagine a tool so powerful it boosts your productivity, right? But what if, kind of secretly, it dimmed your own thinking? We're diving deep into some, well, unsettling research today. It suggests our AI assistants might just be making us, a little less sharp. Welcome to the deep dives. Today we're unpacking a really fascinating and honestly somewhat provocative study from MIT. It's got this title, Your Brain on ChatGPT: Accumulation of Cognitive Debt when Using an AI Assistant for Essay Writing Tasks. That title, it grabbed us immediately.
Oh, absolutely. Cognitive debt, that phrase, it just sticks, doesn't it? It instantly brings up this idea that maybe we're borrowing, maybe without even realizing it, from our future mental abilities. So in this deep dive, we'll explore exactly what that means, how a pretty ingenious experiment uncovered these effects, which are surprising, and crucially, how we can, use AI intelligently without losing our own edge.
Yeah, our mission today is to understand not just the specific findings, but really grapple with the bigger picture. What does this mean for how we learn, how we think, how we deal with information now that AI is everywhere? Okay, so let's unpack this. The author of our source material, Max Ann, he describes having a bit of a personal crisis after reading this study. Like a lot of us, I think, he saw these AI writing tools as, well, superpowers, game changers.
Totally. I mean, think about it. Staring at that blank page, the
Wow.
blinking cursor, it's intimidating. And then you find this AI, you type, write an intro about financial reporting, and boom, it's just there. Perfect paragraph. The relief is instant. It feels kind of like magic.
Right, and that exact feeling, that ease, that relief is what the MIT researchers were digging into. They found pretty quickly that using AI significantly lowered what they called cognitive load, which just means your brain didn't have to work nearly as hard to get the job done. Less effort.
Yeah, it's the classic convenience trap, isn't it? Like constantly using GPS, even in a city you plan to live in for ages. Sure, it gets you there fast, efficiently. But you learn basically nothing about the actual routes, the layout. You don't build that mental map.
Mm-hmm. The study strongly suggests AI can be like that GPS, but for our thoughts, for writing. We get to a finished essay, wow, super quickly, yes. But our brain often just skips the harder parts, the effort needed to really make those connections for understanding, for memory. It's a shortcut.
And here's the kicker. While the AI users, yeah, they produced more words, faster, more output, the researchers found their reasoning quality was actually lower. It's like quantity over genuine deep thought. Building loads of identical houses fast versus carefully crafting one solid, unique one. Efficiency versus robustness.
Yeah. So that leads to the core question, doesn't it? Does making tasks easier, lowering that cognitive load, does that inherently get in the way of deeper understanding, of really learning it?
Yeah, often less effort does mean less learning. Think of your brain like a muscle, right? Lift easy weights or use a machine doing most of the work. You don't build real strength. Growth comes from the struggle, from engaging those muscles. It's the same for our minds. Less effort often means less deep processing, less actual learning that sticks. The brain has to actively build knowledge, not just receive it.
Okay, so this is where the experiment itself gets really, really interesting. The researchers set up this three-way kind of mental showdown to see these effects directly.
That's right. They had 3 teams, all writing essays on the same stuff. One was brain only, just them and their thoughts. Another was a search engine. They could look things up online. And the third group, they had a powerful AI assistant, ChatGPT in this case, helping them write.
And the twist, the really clever part, was when they swapped methods later. They wanted to see, okay, are these AI effects just temporary? Or do they stick around? Like, can your brain bounce back after relying on that help? A test of cognitive resilience, really.
And the results were, well, pretty stark, especially about memory. After they all finished their essays, they got a super simple test. Quote, 1 sentence. Just 1 sentence from your own essay. Simple recall.
The brain-only group and the search engine group. Almost perfect. Near flawless recall. They remembered what they wrote. Their brains were clearly engaged, processing and coding.
Okay, but get ready for this number. A staggering 83% of the AI assistant group could not quote or even accurately paraphrase a single sentence from the essay they supposedly wrote. Not one accurate quote from anyone in that group. It's like the ideas just flowed through them but didn't actually land.
Wow. Let that sink in. 83%. They created it, technically, but remembered almost none of it. It's like watching someone else work out and expecting to get stronger yourself. Your muscles know better. And apparently, so does your brain. It shows a real lack of true mental encoding. Your brain wasn't actively working that info, forming the connections needed to recall it, even if it was your work.
That memory lapse is just wow. So beyond just memory, what does this really tell us about how deeply we engage with AI-generated stuff?
I think it suggests a pretty fundamental shift, maybe. We become more like curators, maybe editors, but not necessarily creators in the old sense, and definitely not deep learners if the information isn't truly getting inside. And it wasn't just memory. The study also looked at this thing they called a crisis of ownership. The brain-only and search engine folks. They felt 100% ownership, pride, connection to their work.
Yeah, but the AI group, totally different story. Many felt it was like 50-50 collaboration at best. Some even felt, remarkably, no ownership at all. That feeling of this is mine, that responsibility, it just wasn't there as strongly. Faded.
The researchers also found this intelligence divide in how people use the AI. Higher competence learners, they tended to use it strategically, like a sparring partner, or a sharp editor. They used it to enhance their own skills, push their thinking.
Right, whereas the lower competence learners often used it very differently. They relied on it more to just do the work for them, not really to help them learn how to do it. It's that classic tool versus crutch thing, like an engineer using a calculator for complex stuff versus a student using it to avoid basic math. One helps, one hinders learning.
And they actually looked inside the brain using fNIRS, which is fascinating. It measures brain activity by tracking blood flow. Shows what's happening under the hood.
Exactly. And they saw this really clear difference. Brain-only and search engine users, they showed bottom-up processing. That's like discovery mode. Your brain building knowledge piece by piece, like putting together a puzzle from scratch. It takes effort, sure, but that's how you really understand.
But the AI assistant users, totally different pattern. They showed top-down processing. It's like they were given the big picture, the finished puzzle outline, and were mostly just filling in details. Tracing lines almost, not constructing, just validating. And that meant, overall, significantly less brain activity, less connectivity in that group, less mental work, less mental growth.
So wait, it's not just about what you produce. AI literally changes how your brain functions while you're using it to create.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah.
It shifts processing from active discovery, active building, to something more passive, like tracing or validating.
Whoa. Just imagine scaling that. That reduced brain activity, that shift from active creation to passive tracing. Across billions of AI interactions every day, all over the world, what does that mean for us, long term? It's
a sobering thought.
And maybe the most worrying part, these mental shortcuts, this cognitive debt, it wasn't just temporary. The effects stuck around, even after they stopped using the AI. The debt lingered.
Yeah, when those AI users were forced back into brain-only mode later, they consistently did worse than they did initially. It was like their mental muscles had gotten weaker from lack of use. Atrophied, kind of. That cognitive debt was real. Their ability to think independently was actually diminished. It makes me think about learning a language, If you only ever use a translation app, sure, you communicate. But you're not building fluency. Take the app away, and you might actually be worse off, more dependent than when you started. You didn't build the pathways.
And there was this other really fascinating, almost artistic finding. 2 English teachers graded the essays, and they could often just tell which ones were AI assisted. Not because of mistakes, the opposite, actually. They were grammatically perfect, structured beautifully.
But the teachers described them again and again as having close to perfect use of language and structure, while simultaneously failing to give personal insights or clear statements. The word they kept using, soulless. That's quite a word.
Right. That's where that homogenization fear comes in. If everyone uses the same tool to generate ideas, everyone starts sounding, similar. It's this powerful force pushing towards sameness, potentially erasing unique voices, that individual spark. And honestly, I still wrestle with that myself sometimes, protecting my own voice when these tools are so easy to use.
So thinking about that, if relying on AI can erode our unique creative voice, how do we actively fight against that?
It has to be conscious, right? A conscious effort to cultivate your own thoughts first, to protect those personal insights. Make sure your unique angle comes through.
Okay, so what do we do then? What's the practical takeaway? The research isn't saying AI is evil or we should ditch it. Not at all. It's more like a call for us to be much more thoughtful, much more intentional about how we use these tools.
Exactly. The key idea really is understanding these 2 modes and choosing consciously. Learning mode and production mode. Knowing when to be in which gear.
Right. So learning mode, that's when your main goal is to really get something, understand a new concept, build a skill. Here you should be brain first.
Absolutely. Struggle with it yourself. Use AI later, maybe to check your work, ask questions, get different explanations. Not to just generate the answer. Do the heavy lifting yourself. Precisely. Ask it to explain things, not just give answers like, explain X like I'm 10, or what are 3 ways to think about Y? Use it like a pewter, not an answer key. And yeah, critically, protect that voice. Write the first draft yourself. Get your soul on the page first.
Okay, and then separate from that is production mode. This is where AI can really help with speed, efficiency for tasks you already get, or where deep learning isn't the goal.
Totally. Here, AI is great. Brainstorming ideas, automating routine stuff you already know how to do, polishing your solid draft for grammar or style, summarizing long things for a quick overview. It's for execution, amplifying what you can do, not for the core learning or creating part.
So the bottom line from the research seems really clear. Use AI like a cognitive crutch, letting it do the thinking for you. That can weaken your own thinking over time, but use it like a sophisticated tool you understand. That can amplify what you're already capable of.
Yeah, it really just boils down to one word: intentionality. Are you consciously choosing to engage your brain, to think, to learn, or are you kind of passively outsourcing that?
Okay, but given that distinction, how do we make sure, like consistently, that we're picking the right mode for the right task? How do we stay disciplined about that?
That's the ongoing work, isn't it? It requires constant self-awareness, pausing and asking, what's my real goal here? Learning. Or just getting it done. Purpose matters.
This whole line of research, it sparks this really big, important conversation, I think, which is what's left for us, for humans? If AI can write perfectly good text, make flawless arguments, what's our unique value then?
Well, those teachers who graded the essays, they kind of gave us the answer, didn't they? They valued individuality and creativity over objective perfection. That human spark, that personal insight, the wisdom from just living, that's what stood out. That's irreplaceable.
Yeah, AI, it's amazing, but it can't draw on a lifetime of unique experiences
Right.
or real emotions or humor. It doesn't know what awe feels like or disappointment or just quiet joy. It doesn't have that embodied perspective.
And that is our edge, our real competitive advantage now, our job shifts maybe. Less about generating basic info, more about infusing work with personality, telling resonant stories, connecting with other humans, bringing that soul back into the equation, even if the structure is AI-assisted sometimes.
So as AI gets woven deeper into everything, the skills that matter most for us humans are going to change. Rote memorization, less important. Generic text, that becomes a commodity, easily produced.
Right. The new essential skills are more metacognitive, managing your own mind, understanding how you think and learn, thinking about your thinking.
Yeah, including things like tool awareness, that conscious decision. Is this job for my brain, for AI?
Yeah.
Or both working together, making that choice deliberately.
And alongside that, quality evaluation, knowing good from bad. Source verification, critical now. Creative protection, guarding your unique voice. And maybe the biggest one, learning intentionality, that conscious choice to actually embrace the hard work of real learning, not just always taking the easy AI route.
So if you had to pick one, what's the single most crucial skill for navigating this future that's unfolding right now?
Learning intentionality, I think. And yeah, just that ability to manage your own mind, know thyself, applied to the age of AI.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean? Our deep dive into this MIT study, it shows AI isn't, a simple savior or some kind of doom. It's way more nuanced. It's a powerful partner, yes. But crucially, a tool, not a crutch. A tool that needs skill and intention to use well.
Exactly. The future isn't about rejecting these tools. That's probably impossible anyway. It's about learning to dance skillfully with them, knowing when you need to lead, when to let the AI follow your lead, and yeah, when to just step away and dance alone, trusting your own rhythm.
We really encourage you listening to think about your own AI use. Are you leaning on it or are you leveraging it? Is it helping you think or thinking for you?
Your brain on ChatGPT doesn't have to be a weaker brain. It can be your brain, plus this amazing tool, as long as you always remember who's actually supposed to be in charge.
Thank you for joining us on this pretty thought-provoking deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I might need to go write something, completely unassisted, just to make sure I still can.